These are this afternoon's top stories. National Assembly convenes at government headquarters. No gun amnesty for Barbados, and a Taiwan water park explodes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ZIZ Mid newscast. Today is Tuesday, 30th June 2015. I am Nisha David. In national news, the Parliament of St. Kitts and Nevis convened this morning at 10 a.m. at the National Assembly chambers at government headquarters. Among the items addressed by the country's leader, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, were the state of the Citizenship by Investment Unit, the planned reformation of the Sugar Industry Diversification Fund, the SIDF program, and advances to the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. This morning's sitting also saw the swearing-in of opposition members, the Honorable Denzel Douglas, Honorable Marcella Liebert, Honorable Patrice Nesbitt, and Honorable Conrad Maynard. We'll have more on today's National Assembly sitting in tonight's newscast. The first 1,000 fans to enter Warner Park today will receive free tickets to watch the St. Lucia Zouks and the Barbados Tridents in action on Wednesday. The Caribbean Premier League and the St. Kitts and Nevis Ministry of Sport announced that the giveaway was in celebration of St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots' first win in this year's league. Tonight's opening match against the Jamaica Tallowers is set to be electric following the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots' stunning victory against the Barbados Tridents on Saturday night. Gates open at 4 p.m. A new genre of music made its debut during the second night of the 19th annual St. Kitts Music Festival. Local rap artist Mod Stoney, who coined the term island rap, told ZIZ's Kailoni Johnson that the genre was made to showcase the local elements of Kittitian culture.
Island rap basically is a little bit of sugar because St. Kitts is known for sugar and sweetness. So I just put forth my style, my genre, our culture instead of you being too Americanized, because in the past most rappers tend to follow the American culture and this style. So I just stayed home, construct a genre which I chose to call island rap, and figure, well, hey, instead of using those slangs, why not put forth our own slang, which I said, how you mean?
Mod Stoney is best known for his hit song, How You Mean. Regionally, St. Lucia's media fraternity has received a warning from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Law enforcement officials want the press to exercise caution when covering crime and other matters before the courts. The Media Association of St. Lucia is calling for dialogue and further clarification on the matter. HTS News Force's Riani Isidore has that story.
The press here has received strong words of caution from the Director of Public Prosecution and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. In a joint press release dated June 26, the two organizations claim the country's criminal code prohibits the publishing of any matter which can, quote, prejudice the fair trial or conduct of criminal proceedings. In order to do so, the Fourth Estate is asked to desist from, quote, interviewing and displaying the images of potential witnesses who may be on crime scenes or involved in ongoing police investigations, end quote. The missive also indicates to media houses that if this rule is not adhered to, reporters and journalists can be held in a contempt of court. Clinton Reynolds is the president of the Media Association of St. Lucia. The Media Association is calling for clarity from the DPP and the Royal St. Lucia Police Force on this development.
It's not a bad law. It is a law. The law that was quoted is left to interpretation. I do not know that a decision on contempt of court or sub judice can be left to the DPP. I do not know whether it is something that is only reserved to the bench, and when I say the bench, the judge or the magistrate presiding over a particular matter. So to say that we could be found in contempt of court, I mean, we need to have a discussion. I think that is what's important right now.
According to Reynolds, the press is carrying out due diligence.
Someone feels to be a witness until they are named in court documents as a witness. So to interview someone who might have been a bystander It is not contrary to the norm. It is not inappropriate. It is not illegal.
Both sides of the debate are pointing the finger. The Media Association contends the relevant authorities must do more.
The responsibility to ensure that the process is not corrupted or prejudiced lies with the authorities, the legal authorities. And it is up to them to indicate to witnesses whether they should speak or could speak on a particular matter or whether they cannot.
Media pundits say the notice may have a significant impact on daily news gathering. However, the Media Association encourages the press to get acquainted with the Constitution. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Barbados' Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite is rejecting proposals for a gun amnesty for Barbados. Brathwaite, who is also Home Affairs Minister, warns that such measures simply did not work in arresting the worrying influx of firearms. He says, however, he would welcome any individual with illegal firearms who wants to turn them in.
Now, pray tell, a fella has an illegal firearm and stuff. You really think that if you say to him that I'm going to give you $500, that he's going to bring in his firearm and stuff? And when he brings in the firearm, right, you automatically then have a duty to test it to see whether or not it's being used in the commission of a crime. So if perchance my friend Emmanuel brings in a firearm and it's being used in a murder, do we say to him, well, we'll find, here's your $500, but we're not going to question your connection with how long have you had this, you know, et cetera, et cetera. My information is that gun amnesties, frankly, do not work.
He told reporters that the authorities needed to maintain the right to prosecute or at least follow up on leads by talking to people handing over weapons in cases where it was found that such weapons had been used in the commission of crime. Internationally, a young woman died on Monday following a weekend blaze at a Taiwan water park. Her death marks the first fatality among nearly 500 casualties, officials say, as investigators focus on the colored powder that rained fire as it was sprayed over revelers from a stage. More than 200 of those being treated after Saturday's fire at the Formoso Fun Coast Water Park in New Taipei City remain in serious condition. The 20-year-old woman succumbed on Monday afternoon after suffering second-degree burns on more than 90% of her body. Investigators are seeking a reason why the cornflower mix of colored powder combusted after being sprayed over the partygoers from a machine mounted on a stage. More in this report.
The party was in full swing when the fire suddenly erupted, catching the partygoers completely off guard. Panic and screaming everywhere. One witness described the scene as hell. This video shows a woman engulfed in flames. A man rushing to help caught on this cell phone, only to make the situation worse.
As he ran to help, he probably kicked up the colored powder. He caught fire, but was able to escape.
The powder, made from dried corn, is also used in other countries and can be highly flammable. This video shows the moment the powder was discharged onto the audience. A loudspeaker on stage visibly ignites, spitting a ball of flame that spread fast through the crowd.
The loudspeakers were completely destroyed. I saw workers carrying them out, and they were completely destroyed.
The fire was quickly brought under control. The fire department said the powder may have ignited due to the heat of the lights on stage or sparks from machinery. The number of injured are in the hundreds.
I tried to help a girl to escape the scene, but she was so badly burned that she said she couldn't move.
Officials say many of the victims appear to be in their 20s or younger. Organizers of the party have been detained for questioning.
The use of colored powder has gained popularity in Taiwan in recent years to lend more festivity to public events. With 2 gunshot wounds, David Sweat was rushed to a hospital in Albany in serious condition, but he is already talking. Sweat says he and fellow escapee Richard Matt plan to drive to Mexico in prison worker Joyce Mitchell's car. According to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, they also planned to kill her husband.
The theory that Mitchell was in love with one or both of them, and then they would go live happily ever after, which is a fairy tale that I wasn't read as a child.
But when Mitchell did not show, the 2 convicts resorted to Plan B and headed north to Canada.
Sweat actually disengaged from Matt about 5 days ago because Sweat felt that Matt was slowing him down.
With less than 2 miles to go, Sweat nearly made it to the border, but Sergeant Jay Cook found him first. The 21-year veteran of the New York State Police spotted the convict in fatigues, looking ragged. When he tried to run, Sergeant Cook fired twice, hitting him in the torso. 4 teenagers believe they saw Sweat earlier that same day, trying to hitch a ride.
He just said that he needed a ride in like a very weak voice.
The teens didn't give him a lift and instead called the police tip line. On Friday, Sweat's partner in crime, Matt, was shot and killed by a border tactical team. His last night likely spent here, a dirty, run-down camper on the edge of a busy road.
Matt probably realized he wasn't going to be able to stay here long without being discovered. What he really needed was a vehicle, and on Friday, an RV traveling on this very road was hit by a gunshot.
The driver called 911, the tip that would eventually lead police to Matt's hideaway. But Sweat slipped through and was taken down by one alert state trooper with a good shot.
Investigators anticipate an early discovery of what led to the initial escape. In the weather, today will be sunny to partly sunny with a chance of few cloudy spells and scattered showers. Winds today are moderate at 13 miles per hour from the east to northeast. Temperatures are expected to reach a high of 27 degrees Celsius or 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate to rough with waves of 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet, and small craft operators are asked to exercise caution in waters east of the island. Sunset for today will be at 6:49 p.m. and sunrise for tomorrow will be at 5:40 a.m. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Mid newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nisha David.